Hi, Audie Cashin. I am a certified One Thing trainer and, as you know, chairman and founder of the World Peace Center. So why is that important to you? Well, what I do and my purpose through our nonprofit is help you understand what your passion and your purpose is so that you can live a life of passion and purpose leading you to ultimate peace. Thus, together we can co-create world peace one individual and organization at a time. That is my goal. That is my purpose in life. So let me tell you a little bit more about my backstory. So when I was 13 years old, I played tennis at a competitive level. I would travel around the state of North Carolina and sometimes play in national or other tennis sanctioned by the USTA. So playing at a very high level, I had some of the best because my parents were big fans of the motivational, positive thinking books like Maxwell Maltz and Norman Vincent Peale, Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. All of those materials my parents would read because they were really big into that. And I realized when I was 13 years old that I wasn't performing at the level that I knew that I could in tennis. And it was really hard for me. I get very frustrated. I would literally break tennis rackets out on the court because I was so angry at myself. I would beat them on the ground or hit them against the tennis, the pole where the tennis net was, and it was just so frustrating to me. And I would say, I know I can beat this person, but I would get so frustrated up here when I would do something that wasn't to the level that I knew I could, that it would just frustrate me. So I would lose to people that might have had. Other people would say this, not just myself. I felt this way, but other people would say, they didn't have the abilities or the strokes or the acumen, of being able to play tennis at the level that I could, but yet they beat me. So it was about up here. So I read a book called Inner Tennis, and that sent me on a path where I started reading all the books about how do you become a top performer and creating purpose in your life and finding something that really has meaning that you contribute to for the rest of your life, even at that age. And I saw Zig Ziglar and other people like that, and I was pretty lost. I was kind of crazy in that whole high school time and everything, but yet I knew that I was different, I was unique, and I tried to show that in ways that I would dress and do things that were weird, as far as like having my hair long and just being my own person, trying to identify myself as an individual rather than with the group. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's continued in college, and I didn't do well. I actually failed a lot of subjects in college because I wasn't really interested in doing partying, and I took too many courses and ended up failing, and I thought I was going to be a failure for life. And so then that's whenever people that were successful out in the business world or successful in their own right, they said, just get your sheepskin and graduate. And I thought, well, why don't I just start a business here? That's what I know I want to do. So I started several businesses. I was a motivational consultant in college. I had a Christmas tree light in High Point, North Carolina, and one in West Palm Beach, Florida. And the one in High Point was hugely successful. The one in West Palm, I had to, all my savings, I had to pay the bank back because it was just not successful. So I learned a lot of things about business. Starting the export company to Japan, and really my passion came from going to Japan. Even before I started the export company, I went to Japan and stayed with a family, and having that connection, staying in their homes, and then going to see Hiroshima, the museum in Hiroshima where the atomic bomb went off. It was just amazing for me to see the dichotomy of like how much I loved this Japanese family and how much they loved me, and then how much we hated the Japanese back during the war. Americans in general. And I purposed in my life, it was my quest. I made a vow to myself, I'm going to do something about that in college. So that's why I started the export company to Japan, to help create and co-create peace within the world in these nations that were different than ours. Subsequently, I started an export company to the Middle East. I lived in Dubai, started a project consulting business there, did a lot of different things, and then I realized I was still, only just a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm chasing money rather than chasing my passion. Let me chase my passion and figure out how I can do that and still provide for my family, because I had it all backwards. I felt like I had to have the money to be able to make the difference. The key is to find your passion, that which lights you up. That's what you do without getting paid for it. And that's what I'm doing now. And I don't know if you can experience that from me, but I just love helping people like you to be able to understand what is my passion, to dig deep and find out, why do I do what I do right now? Because I used to love doing this, and this is what I do whenever I'm on my weekends or whenever I've got free time, then I'm not with my family or whatever. That's what lights me up. And then finding a way to monetize that so that you can actually fulfill your life's purpose and your calling in life and reach your destiny so that your song will not be unsung and you won't go to the grave with your song still inside of you. I mean, travel from your heart, from your head down to your heart, and realize how horrible that would be to hear people at your service speaking over you. Yeah, he was the best accountant and he spent so much time at the office, he was so committed to being that accountant, or he was the best entrepreneur, he gave, back to everyone else, but his family never felt loved. His family never felt like he was around. He was absent as a dad, and so his kids acted out, and I realized that in my own life when I was working for corporate America after the crash, after I had my own business doing commercial real estate. I worked for a large bank, and I was coming home late at night and leaving early in the day, and my daughter, Tyner, who's 8 now, and she basically was like I was a stranger in the house. I would come home and be around her on weekends, and she didn't want to have anything to do with me. And so I get it, because she never knew who I was. I was an absent dad. So I was like, I'm going to make a difference. I am going to change and live a lifestyle that actually transforms and gets me to be able to be the person that I want to be, and also be the person for others in my circle of influence and in the community around me to influence people for the greater good. And that's why I'm here for you. And so I wanted you to hear that epiphany story of where I learned that you can't chase 2 rabbits because you'll catch neither. So I learned to chase one rabbit, which is my passion. And that's what I'm going to help you with, on helping you find your one thing. Look forward to us connecting, and be ready. Lots of questions, and I'll look forward to talking to you really soon.